are there certain decisions or tasks that AI systems should not be permitted to undertake? I think that is a really interesting question. Are there matters, for example, sentencing of criminals or deciding who to hire or to fire, that should ultimately always be made by a human who can take responsibility for them, give reasons for them, rather than an AI system? Well, obviously, AI is a pretty revolutionary technology that's going to have pervasive effects for all of human life, including for businesses. I think there are a number of challenges. One very important challenge is to get accurate information about the actual capabilities of AI systems and what they can contribute to a business. Unfortunately, there's a lot of hype and overblown claims about what AI systems can do. So it's very important that there is technical expertise to assist in these decisions about whether certain systems should be deployed. There are these quite outlandish claims that AI is going to bring about some kind of economic revolution and massively boost GDP. But very reputable economists like Darren Acemoglu at MIT have claimed that it's only about a 1% increase in GDP that we're looking at over 10 years. So it's really important to have that technical information. But then also we know that AI systems pose a series of ethical challenges to do with issues around fairness, privacy, explainability, and so forth. So companies will need to have a handle on those ethical issues and to incorporate discussion of those ethical issues into the general decision-making process within the corporation, rather than simply hiving them off to a particular section dealing with ethical issues. And I think that raises a third kind of challenge, which is how to adapt existing corporate structures of decision-making, how to adapt an existing corporate ethos to be better equipped to engage with these sorts of issues. So that could mean a whole range of things, including, for example, having technical experts or ethical experts on the board of directors, making sure that there is general education around AI capabilities and ethics within the corporation, and also addressing the question of to what extent stakeholders more generally need to be addressed by a corporation in addressing these questions. There are a huge range of issues. I think ethically, the most fundamental issue is, what good is this technology performing? I think that is the question we have to put front and center. So in addressing any of these issues, whether we should develop and deploy a particular AI system, do we have a convincing answer to the question that it is furthering some genuine human good, meeting some genuine need? And, you could really ask yourself the question about many AI systems. Are they actually doing that? What is the good, for example, that ChatGPT is doing for us? When in particular, you take into account two things. One, the massive environmental footprint that's involved in using AI systems. And second, the opportunity cost, that the huge resources that are put into developing these systems could be put somewhere else. So we should always have that question front and center. But in addition to that sort of question, then there are questions that arise with respect to the deployment of these systems. So for example, do they comply with norms of fairness, or are they discriminatory between different classes of people? Do they meet the right to privacy, or is their reliance on data actually violating people's rights to privacy? And then there are sort of questions we hadn't really thought of before, such as, are there certain decisions or tasks that AI systems should not be permitted to undertake? And I think that is a really interesting question. Are there matters, for example, sentencing of criminals or deciding who to hire or to fire, that should ultimately always be made by a human who can take responsibility for them, give reasons for them, rather than an AI system? And again, I think there's this broader kind of ethical issue, which is, what's the best way of addressing these ethical issues? So when you think about a corporation like Meta, they've created an oversight board that operates in a way like a Supreme Court, in order to adjudicate contested issues of content moderation on their platform. Is that the way to go? Or is the way to go that you actually have greater stakeholder involvement? So OpenAI has a program called Democratic Inputs to AI, where it's trying to engage users in determining the policies they should follow and using AI to enable that stakeholder consultation and democratic process. So that is going to be, again, an issue at a higher level. What is the best structure of corporate decision-making for addressing these questions most effectively?